What's up, Womack Nostalgia? Dave here with a review of Friendship, the new comedy film from Andrew DeYoung, starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. Friendship premiered back at Toronto last fall and is now being released limited last week, opening more wide this week from A24. Andrew DeYoung, best known for his TV work to this point, but of course I think the main appeal from this, apart from the fact that it's an A24 comedy film and whatever that might mean, A24 usually doesn't dabble too much in non-serious and non-super artsy affair, but Friendship, of course, is the big, film vehicle for the first time for Tim Robinson. Of course, Tim Robinson, pretty broadly known figure in the comedy world at this point, but of course best known for his work on the Netflix sketch comedy series I Think You Should Leave. If you like Tim Robinson's style of comedy from I Think You Should Leave, then you will like him once again in A24's Friendship. The awkward, cringy, escalating style of humor, the physical aspect of it is very much on display and will be familiar to fans of Robinson. Paul Rudd also does a great job playing off the material as someone who starts out as Robinson's character's friend before realizing that this guy is a bit too extreme and escalates things a bit beyond comfortability and normal societal behavior. It's a funny premise. I think ultimately you have to watch this movie and not get frustrated with the behavior that you watch, because a lot of it can be a bit grating, and that is of course the whole point of the bit. I think it helps that the movie is often pretty unpredictable, a lot like its lead character, where while you might be frustrated with something you're seeing on screen, the laughs are always right around the corner once again. But again, you have to be okay with those laughs being of the more ridiculous and over-the-top fare. Again, his comedy style is certainly not for everyone. Yeah, I think it's one of those movies that it's like it's not even almost worth like talking about like the plot mechanics of it so much as it's like I think it's really just an extended series of bits and Robinson's persona, where he's able to so effortlessly, move and shake beyond different ways about his character, where he can play a straight man actually really convincingly, and he does it at times. And he's also able to so like finely tune just being a weirdo, and being a weirdo in such specific and random ways. And like that's what a key aspect of the stuff that happens in this movie, and there's just a series of escalating incidents that really snowball into things both consequential and maybe just embarrassing. There's a whole gamut of stuff going on here, and you have Paul Rudd kind of playing among that. I think the kind of common comparison you've seen here is that this is like A24's take on classic Paul Rudd comedies of old, like I Love You Man and Role Models, and I think maybe it's a bit of an obvious comparison, but I think it does make a lot of sense, because this movie does have, I think, really nice camera work and cinematography and a lot of the A24 attributes that you come to expect from that. But at its core, it's a Tim Robinson sketch, and it's not too bad. Jack Dylan Grazer plays the son in this movie, playing a 16-year-old. I think he's just about beyond the ability to play a teenager, but he's still just precocious enough. He's pretty amusing in some small parts. And then Kate Mara plays Robinson's character's wife, and she actually does I think a really good job at playing off of him in both positive and negative ways. One of her more interesting film roles in a while, to be honest. I think you're gonna get different takes on Friendship, really depending on how you feel about his style of humor. But yeah, if you've seen Friendship, let me know what you thought of it. Were you previously a Tim Robinson fan? Were you I Think You Should Leave person? Was this right up your alley? Were you completely new to all of this? Were you expecting something a bit more traditional? How did that shake out? Let me know. And for more movie reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.